Hi everyone, I'm Van Gogh. Unfortunately, I just cut my ear off, as you can see.
Matt,
Yeah?
you're not Van Gogh.
Oh, well, I think I am though.
No, this is actually Picasso's painting.
No.
Yeah, this is a portrait of Picasso. You're not Van Gogh.
Well, I want to be, and we're going to do it.
What are you going to do?
We're gonna teach people about how to not do what I just did, like
Be a
no, cut my ear off with a straight razor.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's do this.
On it.
Straight razors.
Hollywood. No, I don't know what I'm doing.
Bollywood. Oh,
Volleyball.
wait, what do they do in Bollywood? Like, they do like a lot of this. Yeah, a lot of that.
I don't feel like they know what the hell they're doing in Bollywood. No offense, but I mean, like, do they just practice it once and they're like, okay, we got it, let's go?
And they push things away.
Yeah, no, it's really
the beach ball's
not
always
a fan.
in the air.
Not a fan because it always sounds the same. I mean, it doesn't matter.
So
Shaving.
This
is I'd rather be shaving, Matt. Not our
Bollywood commercial.
Not in the least.
That was yesterday.
So I mean, where to begin? I think we should begin where we typically begin, unless we forget, with our
Splash of the
vintage
day.
aftershave splash of the day. Today we are going to be looking at Tabex.
Tabex, not related to tabac.
No, but it is tobacco scented.
Not the German.
This is Portuguese. This is from Portugal. It's a classic vintage aftershave
Tell
from
by the
Portugal.
font.
Yeah, his fonts. I brought two versions of it. I have a mentholated version and a regular. For which one do you want to try? Mentholated or regular?
Oh,
or unleaded?
Ooh, I want to try that.
I love this stuff. It is a classic. Well, smell this one too.
Yeah, no.
Someone has like new old stock on eBay, I think, right now. In fact, but look for it. Tabex.
It smells
this
very
stuff,
interesting.
Now this one, the mentholated version, smells a lot like any classic mentholated aftershave.
I like it. It smells kind of like
But I do
diesel
like
fuel.
this one too. No, that's the tobacco in there. And yeah, if you're into tobacco scents, oh yeah, this is nice.
It is kind of nice.
It's almost like, it's definitely the
little woodsy,
flower,
fruity,
tobacco flower, and almost like an incense note in there too.
Yeah. Yes, incense. That's what I was looking for.
Nag Champa or something, like a new age store. But not really. The tobacco is very nice. I highly recommend Tabex, classic Portuguese vintage aftershave. And hopefully during this episode we'll get back to different notes that are picking up.
You can
dry
smell me,
down.
I'll smell you.
We'll smell each other.
So today's episode, we want to talk about surviving your first straight razor shave.
Seeming that, most enter the world of, safety razors and wet shaving through the DE door.
Yes, it's a gateway.
It is certainly a gateway. And the more forums you join, the more often you'll see these bad boys too.
They're tempting.
Tempting or curious, at least.
Like the siren calling you to shore, but the rocks on the shore.
Island of Siren.
Oh, God, they're hideous!
Woof, woof. Someone gouge my eyes!
Or, yeah.
Calling sailors, drunken sailors, who are not waxed their ears.
What should we should just admit, we're both drunk right now.
You are super drunk.
Just kidding.
We are super drunk. Anyways, so this is going to be our little, straight razor question and answer type episode.
So, let's just start right in on it.
Straight razors.
Yeah.
First question. What's the difference between stropping and sharpening?
Thank you for asking, Bullhorn Marissa. The difference is stropping is simply getting your blade into alignment, where sharpening is actually taking metal away, like sanding away the metal to reveal a new edge. So I always use the example of stropping. It's like a piece of paper, right? It's a very fine edge, your straight razor. It can cut you. But just as easy, a piece of paper is very delicate. You can bend it out of alignment. If you snap it back in alignment, it's sharp once again. And it's the exact same thing when you strop on a piece of leather or canvas or really almost anything denim. Yeah, it's just gonna align the edge so it's more comfortable to use again. Whereas sharpening is done on a stone, and you're pushing the edge into the stone and you're like basically sanding away,
Taking
steel.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas when you strop, you go backwards. Actually, just recently, not even joking, we had a customer come in our lobby and they paid us to sharpen their straight razor. They got it. They said they came back about a week later and said, "Hey, thanks so much, but I don't think you did a very good job." And I said, "Well, I want to make sure we're on top of that. Show me your stropping technique." And the very first thing he did, he
Rolled the.
and no, he did this, and he pushed the edge right into the leather strop, and I'm like, that's why it wasn't very comfortable, because you're going to ruin your edge. So always do stropping backwards.
Like in the cartoons.
Yeah. And the number one thing with stropping is that people think that you have to go super fast. There's absolutely zero correlation between speed of stropping and quality of edge. It's the technique. It's a muscle memory you're going to develop. It's getting the edge to lay, evenly, here, one more time, evenly flat against it and trailing, with the edge following, and then rolling on your spine and then coming back and just hearing it going nice and even on both sides.
Are you doing like a diagonal so you're getting more coverage?
Yeah.
Too?
So on a small strop like that.
Let's demonstrate towards the.
Sure. So on a small strop like this, you would do like an X pattern where you're going to go like this, and you're going to cover the entire 3-inch wide blade across a 2-inch medium. Most larger strops are like this. This is a 3-inch hanging
It's a
strop.
behemoth.
A behemoth strop, and this is going to be able to allow you to do the entire blade at once. So nicer strops are 3 inches like that. So next question.
Talk to me about the angle and pressure of a straight razor.
Well, much like a double edge razor,
I didn't ask the question. She did.
look at you. I can't look at Marissa directly.
It's true. We'll turn to stone.
So on a double edge razor, Doug, show me how your angle, relatively, just approximately.
Like 25, 30.
Yeah, and so your job is to do what with a safety razor?
Well, it's a fixed angle, so you're pretty much guiding that fixed angle.
And your wrist is doing what? Like maintaining it. Like,
It's maintaining that angle.
yeah. Okay, so on a straight razor, you have to do the same job, but you don't have the safety bar to kind of guide you along.
And you don't have that fixed angle.
And you don't have your mom helping you.
And you don't have a box of cookies.
No. You are creating the angle yourself. So I always tell people, start off with a double edge razor and then graduate to a straight razor. Don't go right from cartridges this way, because you're not going to ever learn that balance.
And I always tell people to plan ahead and keep a box of cookies under their sink.
So another kind of tip for success is speaking
Keep the
of,
cookies under the sink.
yes, start off flat like this with the blade perfectly flat against your cheek, or and then
Or someone else's.
yes, someone else's. Exactly. Yeah. And then to start slowly, gradually, kind of pitching the blade, and you can start doing small little strokes like this. And when you feel it catch,
Grab.
go with it. Like, that's the angle. Don't keep on going.
And it's very similar. This is why we say, it's probably good to start off with a safety razor first before you pick it up, because it's a very similar thing where you're tilting it till it grabs,
And then that's you're good.
and now you know the angle.
Now your job is to just like memorize
Maintain
that
that
angle
angle.
and memorize. Yeah. Another tip, kind of on that line, when you're getting started, don't try to think you need to do an entire shave with this guy.
I've seen some shaves like that too.
You're not gonna have any fun. Have a DE or whatever, if you cartridge, whatever. Have something nearby, and start slowly kind of gaining confidence in different parts of your face. The cheeks are the easiest. You can get them flat. Have you ever?
Sideburns, just shaping the sideburns
Yeah.
too is a great way to start, and then put it down till the next shave and do that again. Baby step your way into using the straight razor.
Exactly.
Because it takes probably about 100 shaves, they say, to really master this. And I don't know whether that number is true or not, but it does take, it's like anything else. But to get that muscle memory down, it's about doing it over and over and over again. And you can start small.
Exactly. Don't forget to skin stretch. Another really, as you're getting started, you see the guys in the videos or the old kind of barber's manuals, and it kind of looks goofy to be to be doing one of these where you're like, But guess what? The flatter you can make that, and
More
the taut,
taut, yeah.
because there is no safety bar. you'd be surprised. This little safety bar does a wonderful job at kind of dragging your skin and flattening it right before the blade.
Make conditions are perfect with that.
Yeah. Without that, you are the safety bar, and so that means you're gonna look like this guy.
But granted, that said, I mean, you can incorporate the skin pulling with this as well.
Oh yeah, it only amplifies how good they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's another question?
So I've started my first shave, but I feel like my razor is tugging.
Classic question.
Very classic. We actually got that question so many times we include this little note with all of our straight razor kits, and more or less it tells people to not try to strop it right when you get it from us. Now I cannot speak for any other vendor, but I would imagine by this day and age, most people who are saying shave ready are stropping it before they ship it off to you, and that's the way a good vendor should be providing a razor to you, is already honed and stropped. That means the moment you get it out of the bag, audition it as is. If you're getting started, you are not going to probably strop with brilliant technique, and so feeling what it should feel like is going to be now a reference point, so that from then on out, you should be trying to achieve what that first shave felt like, in a good way.
In a good way.
Yes. And tugging is honestly, I hate to say it, it's kind of part of the learning curve. Super smooth, close straight razor shave that everyone's going after, I hate to tell you, it's probably a couple months away, even if you buy the most perfect gear to begin with.
Even with a safety razor too.
Yeah.
You'll have some guys jump in and say, well, I still get a better shave with my cartridge razor. It's like, it comes with time and technique.
Yeah, just like how you can probably drive an automatic transmission vehicle much easier than a stick shift, but once you learn a good stick shift vehicle, you can rapid fire shift.
You can't hotwire a razor though.
No, just time and money.
Hotwire time.
Okay, what's another question?
So I'm shaving and I have a big clump of hair and lather on my blade. What's the best way to remove it?
No. People really ask that?
They really do.
Do you?
Well, and it's a good thing to cover, even if they don't always ask it, but you see barbers, in the movies doing this, where they're taking the blade and backwards, obviously, and they're wiping a blade on their skin. That's a great thing if you're a barber, but if you're at home, you kind of need your other hand to do skin stretching or whatever. So I always recommend having a towel nearby.
Don't forget to bring a towel. There he is. Be sure to bring a towel so you don't get all wet.
Over the sink?
Yeah, over the sink or on the towel rack, whatever. And you can easily just do the same thing, just go backwards and just get all the hair off. You can rinse it under the sink. Just big warning. We get a lot of razors in because they get dropped and damaged and dinged and chipped. And the more this is near that metal sink faucet, higher propensity for damage.
Propensity.
My favorite word.
Back in the day, though, you saw too, like the barber's bowls, what they called. Either your manservant, your wife, a third party who was shaving you you'd be holding that underneath. This is all you would do, and they'd be shaving you. There would be a towel draped over that too. You'd see them do that. You very rarely see these nowadays, but just an interesting little piece of trivia. Barber's bowls. Check them out. They have like a divot cut here so it can go underneath your neck.
Yeah.
But a little lost piece of history.
Right, and also keep in mind, most straight razors are carbon steel, and unlike a double-edged blade where you're going to be tossing the blade, you got this blade forever. Honestly, water and carbon steel don't really need to ever mix. So keeping your blade as dry as possible is not a bad thing.
Good call.
So I'm done with my shave. Now what do I do with the razor?
Throw it out. Oh wait, no, that's something. Other episode.
It may be very tempting because you want to do this and close your razor up, but I highly recommend not doing that. The first step I'm going to show you is, again, a good strop should have a piece of canvas, and I always like to quickly, I'm not obviously holding any tension on here, but just quickly go against your canvas side and actually kind of micro dry that edge. Like, think of it, it's abrasing against a piece of canvas. It's going to heat up. It's going to provide some friction. It's going to really make sure the edge is dry. But then the other thing that you always don't think about, you've had wet hands, you've had lather. All of a sudden, you have all this water in between the scales, your handles, right?
Yeah.
And if you put that blade on there, it's like a coffin. You're sentencing your blade to death, just like the death chamber. Death. Dying. And sadly, we actually have heard from a lot of customers, I got my this beautiful double duck razor or whatever.
And I died. Like death.
and it's rusting. Why is it rusting? Did you close it when you were done? Well, of course I closed it. Well,
That's probably why.
yeah. So I always like to use that same hand towel that I use to put my lather on, and I just put it on the hand towel and I walk away. Now I have a small child at home. I close the bathroom door.
Is it your child?
It's my son. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But
Just checking.
yes, you definitely want to make sure you air dry out your razor. Then come back like a half an hour later, an hour later, close it up, put it away.
So what you're telling me is you have a small child at home and you leave that on your sink.
I live dangerously.
Punk rock.
Punk rock. You can also put it in the kitchen or somewhere up high in a cabinet. Like, bottom line,
Toilet paper if you're in a hurry. Seriously, toilet paper.
not a bad idea.
Right
Okay.
here. It absorbs it really fast.
I
Boom.
can sign off on that. I'd
Okay.
say that's
Matt just signed off on that.
yeah, I could say
So I
that.
can go on the field trip, thanks.
Death!
Death, dying.
Death!
But yeah, don't have rust form artificially. If you're gonna leave your razor for more than a couple days, let's say you're going on vacation and you're leaving your straight razor behind, or it's at your summer home or whatever,
One of the summer homes.
one of your many summer homes, you could put a little oil on here. You could use pretty much anything. If you have
I say mineral oil is the best. Just
100%.
because the other stuff can go rancid. Coconut oil, like fractionated coconut oil, is great because that lasts the longest. I think out of all oils. But vegetable, different oils can go rancid.
I agree. Yeah, we use mineral oil here in the shop. The other product we've loved to use recently is actually like a REM oil. Products like ballistol oil, the stuff that's made for firearms and cleaning steel like that, where people, you don't want to have rust form on a $2,000 handgun.
Moisture buildup in there.
Yeah. We actually we did a test. We found that, like a REM oil outperformed mineral oil. After a few months, we had like 2 or 3 razors and we did different oils and we found that was the best oil for us.
I cried REM oil.
I cry blood.
Death!
So after you're all done, you also want to make sure you have a good aftershave balm. You want to make sure you have something that doesn't have alcohol. For a straight razor user, unless you're experienced, I would stay away from alcohol, just because you're dealing potentially with open wounds, cuts, nicks. Seriously, your first couple of shaves are not going to be pretty. So I always
That's interesting because it comes in exact contrast to why aftershaves were originally invented, which was for
sterilizing.
Yeah, back in the day,
Okay.
Interesting with back in the day when these started competing with these, people were becoming more health conscious too, because you would use the same razor on every customer in the barbershop. You would use the same strop.
Yeah, but when you're at home,
you use the same brush every time.
That's true.
Different customer after customer. So that's why this was very important.
Okay, I can see that in the context of a barbershop, but at home, in alcohol, I mean, I've cut myself. I still have a scar over
No,
here.
you don't. You always say that. You
Look
don't
at
have
that.
to.
See that line right there?
Oh, yeah, you do.
That is from a straight razor, and it was not pretty. I mean, it was like an open gash, and everyone saw it for quite a while.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Except for me.
I almost died. But, any good...
Explain why you
Why did what?
got that nick.
Bullhorn, please.
Yeah.
Great! We're getting pulled over now.
Can you please tell the viewers and customers why you have a scar on your face?
The absolute God honest truth is I was very drunk. Don't straight razor shave drunk. It's so tempting, but
Don't do a show
do
about
it.
straight razors drunk.
Don't do it. I was very rusty. I hadn't straight razor shaved in months, and I just got out of the hobby. And it's like one of these things where you think you could still go at the same speed you used to. You're like, oh yeah.
It's like kicking heroin for like 6 months and then suddenly think you can go back to your... I mean...
So yeah, I was rusty, and I was trying to go my old normal speed, which I could do a straight razor shave in just a few minutes. And
But his tolerance was already...
yeah,
bottomed
just
out.
slice. Plus my mirror.
I've seen people cut and it's like, I don't get that. Like, how can you like start cutting yourself and then realize it after that? Like, I guess it has to do with sharpness.
Yeah.
Bringing us to our next question.
Yes.
Let's play a game!
I mean, I don't know if there's anything else I really...
We almost died.
I think I've covered most of the...
I need you to focus.
I think I've covered most of the basics I wanted to with surviving your first, straight razor shave. Take your time, gain competency, do your cheeks, master them, then move on to your chin, other, fancy geometry that's harder. But don't think that it's gonna be the most amazing thing at first. In time, it will be, but just like everything new, give yourself some time, practice, and you'll enjoy the ride. Yeah.
Okay, so this is our little challenge, if you will. It's more of a challenge for Matt. Marissa's going to run us through on her bullhorn right now what exactly we're doing here, because it all escapes me.
Every straight razor on the table is set up with a different sharpened grit from 1,000 to 20,000, which is what Shave Ready is. Some people say it's 12,000, but let's really see if the extra several thousand makes a difference.
Yes, so we are going to start with letter E, and I'm supposed to guess what grit this was finished on. So I'll just.
Why are we starting with E? We're going up?
Should I start with A?
No.
I'll start with A.
A.
Like the A team.
Like gold.
The first thing I'm gonna look at, context clues, is the edge. Look how shiny it is. It's like a mirror.
Oh, so this is part of your strategy?
No, yeah, just look at it, because that's really what you're doing is you're polishing the edge.
Ooh, try it on your arm. That's like a weird place to do that.
No, I always do it right here, so I'm very familiar with this area. I mean, it's popping hairs. Not exactly the most comfortable. Now let's try a hanging hair test. I was given a hair off the back of my shirt. Thanks, Liz. And Marissa also volunteered a couple of her hairs. So the hanging hair test is not dragging it along the edge, but literally dropping it onto the edge. And when it just hits it, it's supposed to pop.
It's not popping, Matt.
That is not popping. So I would say that this is not 20,000. I don't think it's even 12,000. I would maybe guess 3 or 6 for letter A.
Okay, move on.
Aren't you gonna say like survey says, or?
No, we're going to get to that at the end.
Okay, how about B?
B. All that you can be.
In the army. All right, B. Definitely sharper. So now let's see this hanging hair test. It felt sharper. I have 2 hairs. Double blind test.
No.
Still no.
We got nothing.
The edge looks shiny, but so did the last one. So I would guess if maybe this is 6,000 or so, but not shave ready. C?
This is exciting, isn't it?
Riveting. Letter C. Again, the edge looks plenty shiny.
I'm saying going by shiny is not really your strategy.
Well, if you have a jeweler's loop, like Eric actually in our shop uses a jeweler's loop to look at the edge.
Because everyone has one of those.
This is the dullest of them all. I'd have to say 1,000 on this. It barely even cut hairs.
Well, wait, you got a couple more to go through.
Letter C. And some hairs are hanging and they are intersecting the blade.
Nothing.
So again, one of the lower grits. I'm hoping that we're gonna really.
It kind of seems like. Did they even mix these up? Okay, they are. Ooh, that looks sharp. That's 20,000.
That definitely feels one of the sharpest. I would say that letter D is either 12 or 20 because it was mowing down hairs with ease.
Okay.
I think your job should be holding these hairs.
I don't touch protein-based filaments.
That's what she said. No hanging hair test. But,
wow.
But hey, it definitely shaved, better.
Is that really hair or nylon that we're working?
And finally, letter E. Back to the.
I hear that. Also, the children in the closet are getting louder.
This is less sharp than the other one. So I'd say maybe D was the 20, this is the 12. Letter E.
Called it. However, the hanging hair test,
hanging hair test, it's kind of one of these scenes where I've seen it done, and I could be doing it wrong. First admit.
Try to tilt the angle I've seen it done with the the hair and you're splitting it
I mean, the
in
problem.
cartoons.
Yeah, the problem is if you can't pull it because obviously it'll break it if you just pull through it. You're supposed to just drop it on it. You're not even supposed to run it along the edge because then it can just get caught. So technically, I couldn't get it to do it on there, but that's just me. I don't know. So what were our? So I can't remember what I said. I think I said A, B, and C were all kind of in the dull range, and then I think D or E were in the higher grit range.
Yeah, D is 20,000.
You are correct.
Oh!
D is 20,000.
Yeah.
C was the 1,000. Those
Yeah.
you guys got correct. So you guys got the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
correct.
See, it's good when we work as a team.
Yeah. So what was A and B and E?
A was 12,000.
Okay.
You switched A and E.
Okay.
E was 6,000. B was 3,000.
Okay. So we were generally right. I mean, we took a little detour there, but it really does go to show. We hear all the time people say, "God, I have a sharpening stone in the garage I use for my chisels. I should be able to keep track of my straight razor edge, no problem." And I'm like, no.
Different animal.
Different animal. You know, knives, not even the same thing. Knives, you maybe want to finish off at what, Jeff, 4,000 grit, 2,000 grit. Well, I pointed Jeff because he's an avid hunter. But you know, you think of a straight razor, it's more like a.
Do you hunt with knives? He's hardcore. I didn't know. You think you know your
skin
cameraman.
an animal, take him down. But you think about a straight razor, it's more like a scalpel than it is a knife or anything else. It's really meant for doing a very delicate process, like a surgical process of removing
Just
hair.
have images of Jeff hunting with a knife. Lord of the Flies style. Making a spear. Anyways, what did you think of this?
I liked it.
Yeah?
It
The
wasn't.
dry down was really nice.
It has a soapy kind of smell to it almost. I mean, it's clean. It's like
It's the floral tobacco.
it's like a clean, soapy smell, kind of.
It's very. I mean, if you like,
I like the other one better. We did a couple episodes ago.
if you like Alt Innsbruck, you're gonna like this Tabex rather. I mean, it's nice. However, it doesn't last. It is an aftershave. It's a classic aftershave.
It's almost already gone.
It's a vintage aftershave. It's not a cologne by far. It is an aftershave, but it's great, and you could pair this with Alt Innsbruck.
You'll get comments on it for sure if you wear it.
Okay. Well, this brings
forget-
us to the end of another scorching episode of I'd Lather Be Shaving. But before we go, remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you
And share.
and shave if you want to win this lovely mug. Be the envy of all your friends, folks. That's right, with your very own I'd Lather Be Shaving. And unlike Matt's mug, it's double-sided.
Well, this was like the original one we made, like the prototype. So
I'm not going to have this conversation with you now.
we'll see you next time.